everyone, good evening. You're welcome to this session. We are live. We are live. Hi, good evening, everyone. If you can see me and you can hear me, just put in the comment section that you can see me. You're welcome to this session. You're welcome, Fikayo. You're welcome, Mama Ejimi. You're welcome to this session. I really appreciate you for making it down here. Thank you for making it down here. I really appreciate you all. So today we will go straight up into the session because we don't want to waste time. It seems as if the rain wants to fall, so I don't want us to be caught up. So let's just go into what we are here for today. So today we are going to be talking about a powerful topic: help. My child is strong-willed. My child is highly spirited. I've come across a lot of parents, working with parents. It has been a very awesome journey working with a lot of parents. So before I continue, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Christabel, and I am your host for this session. I'm Christabel Ihabili. I am a parenting educator, and I run the Facebook community called the Deliberate Parent Community on Facebook. And I also have a WhatsApp community where we partner with parents to raise world changers. I'm the author of the book How Busy Parents Can Create Strong Bonds with Their Children. I'm also the author of the family bonding bundle. I have a bonding bundle called the Family Bonding Bundle, the Screen Time Replacement Toolkit. I have that as part of one of those books I authored, and I have other books to my name. So I'm Christabel Ihabili. So feel free to call me Coach Christabel, and I will be walking you down this journey today. Thank you, Olamide, for joining me here. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming down here. I really appreciate you all. So today we are going to be talking about something very powerful, and it's something that has really been bugging a lot of parents, because I've heard a lot of complaints from parents that I have this child. The child is so stubborn. The child doesn't listen. The child is always is a big bug on my neck. Now, permit me to tell you this, that I want you to remove that word. You see, when I was advertising this class, I purposely cancelled out the stubborn there, and I replaced that stubborn with strong-willed. I replace that stubborn with strong-willed, because I don't want any negative label on any child. Because the truth is that when we start putting on label on our children, they become what we label them to become, because what we call them is what they become. Thank you. You can see me. Please, if you are here, before we continue, just hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button so that anytime we come on live, you can see us. Hit the subscribe button so we would know that you are with us. Please subscribe. And if you've subscribed, just put in the comment section subscribed. Okay? If you have subscribed, just put it in the comment section, subscribe. So if you are watching the replay, please click on the link below and just click on subscribe. So I've introduced myself. So let's continue. So I've heard a lot of parents complain about this same thing. So how do you even know you are raising a strong-willed child? Many people don't know who they are raising. The first thing that you should do as a parent is for you to know who you are raising. If you don't know who you are raising, there's tendency for you to follow the crowd. There is tendency for you to follow the crowd. You must understand the fact that all children are not the same. All children are not the same. So you can't parent them with the same template. Every child has his own unique template and the way they should be parented. If you want to parent your compliant child with your strong-willed child or your spirited child, you might end up failing because they come with a different kind of template. Did you get that? So if you don't get anything from today, understand that your child is different and your child is unique from every other child in the world. God has put something inside of your child that is different from everyone. So you have to understand these facts. The first thing you should know is that you should understand who you are raising. If you don't understand who you are raising, there's tendency for you to follow everyone, to follow society, to follow what the society is saying. Because everybody wants you to do this thing this way, but you're telling them that this is how I want to raise my children because you have an understanding. You have a template. You have a blueprint for raising that child. So I noticed that my children are very strong-willed. When I have two children, I have a boy and a girl. So I noticed that these children are strong-willed. Most of the instructions they give me don't even work on them because they have this will of their own. They have this thing of their own. They want to do it their own way. So I started understanding them. Most times people tell me, do this. The right way to do it is to hit them, beat them, slap them, or use some kind of corrective methods that don't align with my personal values. And most times I wouldn't want to do them because I know that when I continue doing that, I may break their will. And when I break their will, I will take them away from the path in which God has destined for them to be. So if you understand these things, you understand that your child who is stubborn is not just, don't use the word stubborn. Take it away from your dictionary. Don't use the word hyperactive. Take it away from your dictionary. Don't use those words. Because when you continue using those words on your children, they begin to behave that way you want, as in that word you use. So take away those ones. One of those attributes of strong-willed children, I will just give you the next slide on my next slide. So how do you know you are raising a strong-willed child? So the first thing, let me just go through what we are going to be talking about today. First, the first value you are going to be getting is understanding your strong-willed child. The second one is providing an explanation of, okay, now let's go to, does your child often like doing things their own way? Does your child often like doing things their own way? So if you have a child that likes to do things their own way, they love to go their own direction, understand you are raising a strong-willed child. And now, raising a strong-willed child does not mean that your child is bad, but it just means that your child has a will of their own. Your child has a will of their own that needs to be nurtured. So is your child determined and doesn't give up easily? Does your child express what they want clearly? They tell you that this is what I want. They express it clearly. Do you find yourself negotiating with your child a lot? Like you are always negotiating with your child. You're always negotiating with your child. Are you with me? Thank you for subscribing. So does your child get frustrated when things don't go as planned? Whenever you ask them to do something, they get easily frustrated. Know that you are raising a strong. So if you don't know who you are raising now, know this. So I'm giving you all these examples for you to understand who you are raising. So does your child get frustrated when things don't go as planned? When you have something like that, understand that you are raising a strong-willed or a spirited child. I'm going to explain as we go on so we understand who a spirited child is, who a strong-willed child, so we'll be able to differentiate them. So is your child very active and always moving around? Yes, those children that they call and they don't stay one place, they call them, according to the Yoruba, they say this only jogmo. They call them onijogbon. They call them those children that do that, they call them hyperactive. So is your child in this category? Does your child ask a lot of questions? If you have that child that always asks you questions a lot, I want you to even be glad. I want you to congratulate yourself for you to have that kind of child. It's a blessing. Most of us don't even see the behind the scenes, what God has placed in the life of your child for you to nurture. You see, those set of skills have been put into your child for a purpose. So does your child have a strong personality and sense of what? Oh my God. Who is here? Oh my God. What's this? Who is still here with me? Can I continue or we should just reschedule for tomorrow, please? Hello? Okay, you can hear now. Should I continue? So let me continue. I just hope the network will still be okay because it's raining here. Okay, so as I was saying, I said every parent is a refiner. But just 20 minutes. Okay. Or should we reschedule for tomorrow? Because this one that the network is bad and people can't hear. Okay, let's continue. So every parent is a refiner. So one thing you should know that you are a refiner and your child is gold. Your child is gold. So you would have to learn the skills that you will need to nurture that child to become the person God has called them to become. Now, the truth is that a lot of us, even as parents, we don't know that parenting is learned. We have to learn these things. We have to learn how to nurture our children to become all that God has called them to be. If we don't nurture them, that is when we start seeing those things as misbehavior. We start seeing those things like those things are not because of the network. NEPA has taken the light, so that's fine. We'll continue. So let's continue. So I want you to see yourself as a refiner. You are a refiner in the life of your child. You are not just ordinary, just a parent for just play. You are here for a purpose, to help that child, to refine that child. So every child comes like a sponge, given to you to refine and to bring out the best out of them. So let's continue. So now let's look at who is a strong-willed child and who is a spirited child. Are they the same? Please, if you can hear me and I can continue, please just put this in the comment section. Let me know that I am not talking to myself. So who is a strong-willed child? I would not use the word stubborn. I refuse to use the word stubborn. I rather use the word strong-willed. So who is a strong-willed child? So a strong-willed child are those children who are self-directed. They are focused on their own paths, which is actually a great thing. If it's properly nurtured, these children can become the leaders of tomorrow. They can be the ones who will change the trajectory of our nations today. The world needs a lot of this kind of children. So we don't need to break their will to fix them into that person we want them to be. No, that is not God's original plan for them. Though they might give some kind of attributes and behavior, some traits, but those traits are something that needs to that is pointing you to something bigger, that there is something bigger ahead. Do you get me? So for example, those characteristics can serve them very well in the future if gently nurtured. That is why I told you that from the beginning that you are a nurturer sent to your child to bring out their best. You are a nurturer in the life of your child. So understand that fact. God intentionally placed those traits in your children. God intentionally puts those traits in your children to bring out so that you can help them to maximize themselves into the person God has called them to be. He expects you to refine those traits. Can you hear me? Now let's go into some what I see and what people call them. Now let's look at this word, strong-willed child. Now the strong-willed child, one of those characteristics is that they are determined, They are assertive. They have self-confidence. They are natural leaders. They are natural leaders. Resilient spirit. They usually have this spirit of resilience. They are very playful. Now, what most people call them, more people call them, you hear people call them stubborn, very destructive, talkatives, messiness. That is what people attribute them to be, but that is not what they are. People give them this kind of attributes that are not in the right form. This attribute is not what your child is, but this is what we see. We are seeing an oppositional child, a child who would always oppose us. But I am seeing a determined child, an assertive child, a child who wants to do things in his own way. If you put that kind of child, if that child is well nurtured, that child can become a future leader. Those are the people that will stand in the place of authority and put in laws. Like, for example, those are the ones that become activists who will fight for the nation. If they are nurtured very well, because they have their own will, they have their own desires. Most of the times we see them as talkatives. But have you ever seen a leader that does not talk? Have you ever seen a leader that does not talk? So most of those times we see it as talkativeness. But what I'm seeing leadership spirit in that child that needs to be nurtured. So don't just see that child as a talkative. If that spirit of talkativeness is nurtured, that child can become a speaker tomorrow, a world-class speaker. Now, another thing we see is defiance. Now, I'm not saying that defiance is good. If defiance is well disciplined, if it is well nurtured, it can become something that can help your children thrive tomorrow. If it is nurtured into something productive. For example, you have a child who is defiant, who doesn't listen. You can start disciplining that child. Discipline comes from the word discipline. You start disciplining the child to become all that God has called them to be. So those children are those ones that we see have a resilient spirit. So these are the characteristics of strong-willed children. These are some of the characteristics of strong-willed children. Now let's look at the word spirited, sensitive children. So we have the strong-willed child and a sensitive child. We have the spirited child. Now for the spirited child, these are the ones that they call hyperactive, very playful, very dirty, very unorganized, very insensitive. They get easily upset. But me, I'm not seeing this as what you people are seeing it as. This is what I see. I see a child who is empathetic, who is energetic, who needs energy, because this is the kind of children we need today. Children with a lot of energy. Please, can you still see me? Please, can you still see me?